Can you hear
Yeah.
me well?
Hey, hello.
All right. Let's get started without wasting any time. I'm sure more people will be joining soon. So, hello everyone. Thank you all for joining AI Startup Competition organized by the Startup Club. My name is Batuan. I'll be the host today. I see some new faces and names, so just a few words about the Startup Club before we get going. So, we are a global entrepreneur community, so we connect startups with investors through these investment conferences and competition. Apart from AI competition, we also organize industry-specific fundraising events. For example, sectors like health tech, fintech, prop tech, ad tech, fashion tech, green tech are our focus areas. We've been doing this more than 7 years now. So since 2019, so we organize more than 100 events, so and about like 500 startups paged. And today, we are giving stage to our 9 finalists selected from highly competitive applicant pool. So I'm sharing my screen so that you can take a look at the presenters as I'm speaking. So we have 9 companies focusing solving different problems using AI, areas like supply chain operation, call center automation, enterprise AI orchestration, production software, sales enablement, engagement with fan. And each company will do 4-minute presentation followed by 6-minute Q&A with the advisory panel members. And I will also ask the panel members to introduce themselves soon. So like 4-minute Q&A, 6 minutes, sorry, 4 minutes pitch, 6-minute Q&A, so 10 minutes each company. So 9 companies, so about 90 minutes for pitch. So event will take less than 2 hours, like two before 2 p.m. Eastern time and 8 p.m. European time. We will be finishing. There won't be any break and no other agenda. And for the sake of time, only the panel members directly interact with the presenters. Um, but all the investor and people in the audience, you can also use chat to, introduce yourself. If you have any questions or any feedback about the presenters, feel free to use chat to do that. And yeah, and also turning to panel, I'd like to thank them all for being with us. Thanks so much. We are panel members from Motivate VC, Octopus Ventures, 72 Partners, and United Partners. Let's do a quick round of introduction with them. So, David, would you like to start? Thank you so much for
Sure.
joining with us today.
Yeah, you bet. Nice to be here and meet you all, and excited to see what everybody has to present today. I am the co-founder and general partner at Motivate VC. We are a Chicago-based venture firm. We manage about $250 million, primarily seed and pre-seed. We do a lot in fintech, B2B SaaS primarily, and what we call bedrock industries like manufacturing, supply chain, logistics, et cetera. And of course, we spend a lot of time in AI as well. But yeah, I've looked through the list here and it looks exciting. So I'm excited to dig in and good luck to everyone today.
Great. Thank you so much, David. Edward.
Yeah, wonderful to be here. Thanks so much for inviting us. Edward Keelan, I'm a partner with Octopus Ventures. We're one of the most active VCs in Europe. I look after the team that runs our software fund. So it's a $800 million fund focused purely on B2B software and enterprise AI. So similar, we do sort of checks everything from sort of late seed up to Series C. Really active, doing about a deal every month. So lots of vertical SaaS 5 years ago, lots of AI today. Yeah, really looking forward to hearing the pitches, and if anybody wants to connect with me later, then I'm pretty active on LinkedIn.
Great. Thanks so much, Edward. Jiyum, how about you?
Hey, hi everyone. So Guillaume from France. I'm from Seventure Partners, a French VC fund covering the rest of Europe as well. The team's been here for the past, let's say, almost 30 years now. It started in 97, managing just a bit more than 1 billion euros today, split to two main investment verticals. So life sciences on one side, which is not really the topic today. I'm not really part of that team, but I'm really more focused on what the topic of this evening, which is tech and digital, and then coming to AI. As has been mentioned by Edward, we've been focusing on vertical SaaS as well, and vertical AI or other topics in the past few years. So very eager to discover the new projects. Our tickets are ranging from, let's say, 1 to 4 million, mainly seed plus pre-series A, I would say. And pleasure to meet you all.
Great. Thanks so much, Guillaume. Great to have you with us today. Ricardo.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm from United Ventures. We are based in Italy, so if you want to grab nice food, you can come whenever you want. And we do invest from seed up to Series A. Tickets range from 2 million up to 15, I would say. And we do manage roughly 500 million of AUM. We do invest in anything that is technology related, even if it's hardware related. So we try to figure out a positioning which is not classic, but we try to be opportunistic on the market a little bit ahead. And good luck to everybody. I've looked at the pitches and they look fantastic. So well done and good luck as well.
Great. Thank you, Ricardo. All right, now we can move to the first presentation. The first company is Zeehub AI. Nilesh will be presenting opportunity with us. Nilesh, yeah, you can share your screen. Okay, you already did that. Just to remind you, you have 4 minutes to pitch, then there will be 6-minute Q&A. I will set the timer for 4 minutes first. So after 4 minutes is up, you will hear the sound beep. So you will know your time is up, but you will have 15 to 20 seconds to finalize. But meantime, I will continue with the Q&A time. So yeah, all right, we can start when you're ready.
Cool, thank you. You can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, I'm Nilesh Dixit, co-founder of Zeehub AI. We help food and CPG manufacturers turn fragmented ERP, MES, and supply data into executed actions or decisions in minutes, not weeks. The problem is simple but painful. In many factories, even answering a basic question like, do I have enough inventory to start this work order, can take days and weeks of spreadsheet work across 10 to 15 siloed systems. Operators spend their time chasing reports instead of running the plant, and the result is millions in waste, slow disruption response, and missed revenue. We don't rip out any of their existing systems. We sit on top of them and we make them think. Zeehub AI is an intelligent decision layer that connects ERP, MES, supplier portals, and deploys specialized AI agents that don't just surface insights, but they act. They auto-drop purchase orders, they catch compliance violations before regulators do, they rebalance production schedules in real time, and we are typically live in 2 to 4 weeks. In just 5 months, we have signed 3 paying customers, reached 200K ARR, and delivered more than 4 million in documented savings. And one of 4 customers went from 1 agent to 2 agents within 60 days. 0 sales efforts, that's the land and expand model proving itself. We start with a single paid pilot, 1 agent, KPI gated, ROI proof in 4 to 6 weeks. When the KPI hit, it auto converts into 5K per month, no resale, no friction. The addressable market for mid-market food and CPG manufacturers in the US alone is 2.2 billion. Nobody's going after this segment with agentic AI built specifically for process manufacturing. The enterprise players like SAP, C3 take 6 to 18 months to deploy. We are live in weeks. Our moat is 3 things that take years to replicate. Number 1, our manufacturing ontology and knowledge graph. Number 2 is data flywheel. Every deployment makes agents smarter. Number 3 is floor to office bridge, which is we connect MES, ERP, suppliers in one platform. My co-founder and I lived this problem at G Digital and have multiple patents in the industrial AI space. We watch billion-dollar plants make critical decisions through spreadsheets and manual coordinations. We're raising 1 million to get to 200K, from 200K ARR to 1.2 ARR inflection point, scale our go-to-market, deepen our product, and establish Zeehub as the decision layer for mid-market factories. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Nilesh. David, would you like to start? What do you think about it? Do you have any feedback or question?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, we've seen a handful of folks doing this, sort of creating that decision-making layer. In fact, we made a few investments in this space, not directly competitive, but yeah, I think it's a huge market. What we've seen in the past, and this is more of a comment rather than a question, is just around sales cycles and go-to-market motion. Right, you really need to be thoughtful about that and come up with some sort of self-perpetuating flywheel. I think is probably the best advice there. But I don't have any specific questions right now.
Great, thank you, David. How about Edward? Anything from your side?
Yeah, thanks. I had sort of two parts to my questions. The first one is I always, whenever anyone says that they made huge savings straight away, I'm always actually interested in getting a bit of context behind what that actually means. Like, what actually did your agents do that all of a sudden was able to make such great savings? And the secondly is there do you think there's any danger as people get more comfortable with building their own agents internally, given that you are sort of sitting on top of the existing data stack, that they just figure out how to do this themselves? So yeah, two parts to the question. One is like putting a bit of context on how you actually did the savings, and two, the defensibility given people are starting to get pretty afraid with how to build these sorts of agents.
Sure, yeah. To your first question about the documented savings. So the way we are doing that, so there are three parts to it, and I can just give an example quickly, which is there are three aspects to it. One is the productivity saving, which is human labor, how we can really optimize that. Second is in terms of increasing the overstocking. So we are saving them, reducing their overstocking right now. They are doing a lot of overstocking when it comes to inventory. And then second is the downtime. Because of understocking, a lot of times they are incurring downtime on the shop floor, and it's not just machine down, but operators and the customer dissatisfaction, and so all of that. So the way we did that, and these are all our pilot KPIs when we define those pilots, and that's how we are converting it now. So we have documented number in terms of the revenue loss because of overstocking and downtime, as well as the number of hours they are spending on the spreadsheet layer, for example, right? So that's the productivity savings. So combining all of that, we have a KPI defined, which maps to 4 million annual saving. Does that answer your first question? Yeah. So the second question in terms of sorry, what was so second question was
mainly
about
defensibility, right, Edward?
Yeah, just sort of agents sat on top of existing data stacks. It doesn't feel like particularly defensible.
Right. So what we are doing is, so there are two things what we are doing. One is the manufacturing ontology, right? So our agents are specialized for manufacturing, and specifically right now in process manufacturing. So that's one, which is we're building our knowledge graph as we are collecting and deploying this to multiple customers. We are getting, our agents are getting much more smarter. So that's number one. Number two, these enterprise systems are not going horizontal. They're doing deep vertical. So a lot of times they are solving one problem, which is, let's say, ERP. If you are talking about those vendors, so where it's, let's say, ERP, they don't know what's happening on the sales side. They don't know what's happening on the supply chain side, or other, on the shop floor side, or MES systems, or SCADA system, which is the sensor data coming in from the machines. Maintenance requests. So all of that production schedule. So all of that information lies in different places. There are 10 to 12 different systems in a lot of companies are currently using to get to the insights what we are giving them right now, or making the decisions. So any one system, existing incumbents to solve that is it's very difficult for them to change their complete model.
Cool, thank you.
Sure.
Guillaume, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, of course. My colleagues already asked a few questions we had in mind, but thank you for the answers. I would go maybe into further details about autonomy of your agents. Of course, a lot of the topics today is how much can they take decisions, critical decisions, especially when we are in a industrial aspects. So as of today, I know it's a bit early in your project, but how autonomous are your agents to take final decisions without human validation, let's say?
Right. So we are not taking critical decisions without human validation. So we are keeping human in the loop for the final decision. So for example, creating a PO, right? So we collect all of the information from the maintenance operator to getting the data to a buyer or a purchaser within the organization. So we gather all the data, and eventually, when it comes to creating a PO in their ERP system or the final system, we give all this information to the purchaser, and then they just have to approve that with a, if possible, with a line of comment, and then we create a PO, right? So there's a human in the loop for critical decisions, and then at the last step of the decision. But we do all the legwork required, and make them the final decision.
Thank you, Nilesh. I will leave the others for the last question.
Thank you, Kim. So we have about less than 30 seconds. Ricardo, maybe short question or maybe just feedback.
A quick one. In terms of integration, how fast can you integrate with your client?
Yeah. So we
Very
have been
fast,
doing that
Nilesh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the deployment is 2 to 4 weeks right now. And this includes, let's say there are any existing systems, we already have a lot of connectors already inbuilt in the product. And if it's a new connector which we have to build with their existing system, it takes about 2 additional weeks, but it's 2 to 4 weeks is in general deployment time for us.
Great. Thanks so
Thank
much,
you very
Nilesh.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So to learn more about this opportunity, feel free to reach out to Nilesh Zeehub directly or reach out to us. We'll happily connect you with him, with their team. Thanks so much, Nilesh. Great to be with us today. All right, then let's move to the next presentation. Next company is Lightscale AI. Luke, founder of the company, will share the opportunity with us. Luke, yeah, you share your screen already. You can start when you are ready. You have 4 minutes to pitch.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me here. I'm Luke, hope you can hear me well.
Yes.
So with Lightscale, we aim to enable non-technical people build production software, and I mean going from prototypes to production. There's still quite a gap nowadays, because if you're like just non-technical people, then you can just judge what is in the front end, what's in the UI, and you don't see what's underneath. And I can tell you, if you look deeper, then you usually have security vulnerabilities. If you use today's builders, you have like sometimes suboptimal architecture, you have hidden bugs, and so on. Actually, that's why the engineers, and hopefully they are still there, to actually gate the production. And that's where we actually want to hook in. We have a radical new approach. What we build is a new programming language from scratch, but not for humans, but for AI. And the language is designed in a way that it can eliminate bugs by its abstractions, like by nature. So that's why we can, for example, guarantee security. We can guarantee that the data persistence, data migration is properly in place, that there's a robust architecture, workflows, certain transactions, and so on. And the fun part, which I like mostly, it's 30x faster. And if I may, I just give a brief live demo. So maybe a good topic for today, I would like to have a PC management platform for tracking startups and investments. So let's build this. Now the AI, that's the special thing, programs in this own programming language. That's actually all. Now the application has already been built. It's like security is in place. Here I have a special permission, namely because I'm the user within this platform, I get the admin rights here. So for example, now I can add a startup. Let's take this one here. If I click here, I see this, for example, address or zip code. This stuff would be nice to have. So I just prompt this address, zip, city for startup. So then again, like prompts are pretty swift. That's because of this language. If I go here, very importantly, the old data has been retained. That's what I meant with the migration. Unfortunately, I have to move this here. So this here, maybe I can then also add an investment. Just it's pretty low, actually. Let's keep that for now. So maybe I'm now fond of having a Kanban board, like a board where I can move the investments around for the investments, and this should be by stage. So this is all live. There's nothing, of course, specifically prepared for that. And so here I have now this Kanban board where I can say this goes to lead and so on. It's just to give you an impression. So what we want is like we are in pre-seed, like we just started, we started in February. We are in pre-seed round. We start with SMBs, then expand to any actually business software. I believe the market is massive. And our tech stack is unique. It's very defensible. Like that's the language, it's the compiler, it's a lot of design that is not so easy to replicate. And we have a team of three experts, all ETH Zurich alumni. Myself, for example, I'm a PhD in programming language, ex-professor, staff engineer. And we all built quite a big vibe coding platform that has 300,000 monthly active users. So we know quite well. So we have like these unique combinations of AI and programming language compiler expertise. Cool. And so, yeah. So then.
Yep. Now we will move to the Q&A. Thank you so much, Luke. Great presentation. Ricardo, shall we start with you this time? What do you think about it? Any question or feedback on your end?
Yeah, I think this is great. We had a workshop this morning, and we found that it's not that easy to go on code by himself if you don't have any coding background at all. But what are the real use case that you believe it's gonna be the first one that you will tap on?
So we were actually talking here to various companies in Switzerland. We are in Switzerland based. So in different branches, of course, we don't want to go to the biggest companies first, or it might be smaller teams within big companies, but there's a lot on data-centric parts, like many applications that need to be customized still, that can't be SaaS, or specific data management stuff where, for example, we talk to a company that does door locks, then they have to manage the door lock stuff, or like chemical devices, then they have to record which devices they actually produced. And so we believe that there's a lot of needs in custom software, which people like companies currently do by consulting, like they engage consultants or have like in-house software engineering teams, but those are usually quite busy and occupied. And this would be nice if solution engineers, if product owners or technical managers could prompt this in a very, let's say, straightforward way. And then I believe the missing piece is to have the trust, the confidence to also run it. And this is where we can guarantee the critical properties, like that we can say the backend is proper. There's no, let's say, authorization check missing in some functions just because the LLM skipped that at some place or did a mistake there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. David?
Yeah. So I think, one of the trends we're seeing, in the sort of vibe coding world is a little less emphasis on web and apps and sort of visual interfaces, more on like agentic solutions. Are you built for those kind of products as well, or is it primarily apps?
No, we start, of course, first with like full stack application, but we also envision, and this is a big ask also by the companies we talk to, of having software components that might be services, or it might be agents, but not only. Sometimes it's just like service, like software service that interconnect various APIs. This might be with AI, but often it's very structured. So we don't want to have AI. So we actually really aim towards what's currently done by, let's say, by very efforts on consultings like this in-house company software, bespoke software, but with clear, let's say, architectural patterns that what we can enable by this programming language.
Yeah, I think the two have to go hand in hand in the future. That's
Yes.
my opinion on it. And then the second question is, and again, we've seen a handful of these, and I'm always curious because the pitch is often, hey, you know, the Replets, the Lovables, the Bolts of the world, they're good to get started, but difficult to sort of run enterprise grade, you know, secure solutions. And my follow up to that is, well, do you have a good product for migrating those, you know, starter packages, starter solutions from the Replets and the Lovables of the world into an enterprise grade program? And I think there's actually a multi-billion-dollar opportunity to do that if you nail it. So I would just pose that question to you.
That's a great question. We get that asked very often because that's also my impression. I think like these platforms, by the way, these are nice. Like you can build really nice like prototypes. But especially myself, I also do this analysis, and there you see there's like really I've not seen any case where there was not a severe like flaw in these things, even if you run this security analysis by those. So, and we were thinking about that, but haven't implemented it yet. So one approach for that would be we could use LLM and then map it into our programming language. And then what we also have in place here with the Lightscale AI, you can do arbitrary UI, let's say fashioning, because that's like a thing that you will never cover by language. And that's where we use like traditional AI to just fine tune it. And that's what we then could eventually, like we would then have like the architectural skeleton, like scaffold that is safe and then can still enable AI to do the tweaking and fine tuning in the UI. Worst case, there might be something off in the UI, but your data is not broken. It can't be any, let's say, security guards that are bypassed. It's also how we do it. Like even in these examples, like if I do, let's say, a web shop or so, I can do arbitrary tweaks to the UI. That's what we allow, but it's very sandbox UI.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, David. We have less than a minute, so Guillaume or Edward, who wants to jump in?
Nothing extra
Yeah,
from me. I think the question's been asked.
I can follow up from the second question of David, which was indeed very interesting into the opportunity of the market in going into enterprise grade software if you're able to do so. And going forward on this, if you nail this and go to enterprise, let's say, who would be the buyer for your solution? Because you touch to business, you touch to IT, you touch to security as well, that want to make sure everything works well. So who would be the, let's say, the typical persona for you?
Yeah,
And
the
a very
typical
short answer, look for that.
typical personas is, I believe, technical program, let's say, technical leaders, solution engineers, like people that currently talk to the engineering teams, then they could save this time.
All
Thank you
right.
very
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Great presentation. Thanks so much, Luke. Great to have you with us today. All right, let's move to the next presentation. Next company is MiHu AI. Volkan, co-founder and CEO of the company, will share the journey with us. Volkan, feel free to share your screen and start when we're ready.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is Volkan. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm a co-founder of Mindhunters AI. Mindhunters AI is an omnichannel AI call center. In other words, it's a conversational AI platform. The problem the companies are having is a fragmented and inefficient customer communication. So they are losing sales due to missed calls, low conversion due to slow response, fragmented and human limited current situation, and it's not scalable for each company. Our solution bringing voice and text AI agents is a unified customer interaction. We provide no-code workflow builder. Anyone can create their AI agent under 30 seconds by only providing their domain address. And we also provide the real-time actions, so we can update the CRM or connect any third-party platform, getting the data, sharing with the customer during the call or conversation. The market opportunity is very high, $1 billion in automotive industry, travel, and healthcare. And the compound annual growth rate, 20-25% at the moment. We are the only complete platform in conversational AI vertical, especially compared to industry leaders, Synthflow, Wapi, Blend AI, retail. We compete at the application layer, not only in the API layer. Basically, most of our competitors sell infrastructure. Mindhunter AI sells outcomes. Capital is already flowing to conversational AI vertical, but right now no one owns the application layer. That's where we play. We have already clients, more than 30 paying customers. 80% of them is in Italy and in automotive industry. Our monthly revenue is $28,000, and we have also clients in US, Spain, and Turkey. We increased our monthly revenue 3 times year over year. And so far, we didn't got any fund or any investor. This is the results only bootstrapped by us. Our revenue model has 3 verticals: one-time setup fee, monthly subscription, and usage fee based on the voice per minute and message per cent. Our go-to-market has 3 phases. The first, dominate Italy. We are already well known in Italian car dealership. We are the industry leader in there. The second phase, entering the new markets, US and Europe. And the third phase is expanding our solution to different verticals, travel and healthcare. Our team, me and myself and the co-founder, Dennis, we have 20 years of experience. And also I have experience as a CEO in the large call center. And Dennis also has experience as a CTO in the large call center company. That's why we bring the real world solutions to our clients. We are raising $1.25 million and the use of funds for the leadership in Italy, the opening a license office, our local sales and support team. The second, US expansion, relocation to US and hiring a business development lead, sales and marketing, and product development. Mindhunter AI is the future of customer interaction, and we are inviting you to our journey to becoming the next unicorn. Thanks for listening.
Great. Thanks so much, Volkan. Edward, would you like to start? What do you think about it?
Yeah, thanks so much, and congrats on to where you've got to. Really interesting area, like the your focus on something like car dealerships in Italy, and that's great. I mean, one thing you mentioned is that you were sort of implying that you didn't have any competitors. I mean, we have seen quite a few of these types of agentic layer companies, call centers, and I just trying to figure out what exactly it is that's completely different about you than others that we have seen in the market.
We have so many competitors. Conversational AI vertical is very competitive. Even like we are verticalized in automotive industry, there are also many, to be honest. But we have already integrated their CRM and DMS platforms. So by providing the real-time results with them, that's what makes us unique. For example, in Italy, we are already integrated the Eurotax. So if the customer called the car dealership, is handling the pricing of their current car. We are already integrated the DMS, so they can check the car parts, making a service appointment, so on and so forth.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Edward. Guillaume.
Yes, thank you. Indeed, it's a topic where we see many interaction or many innovation on customer support, contact centers. So following the first question is, where does your AI starts to fail, let's say, and how do you handle it? And for instance, what's the real quality of the voice and how you do the handoff to a human in the end in the contact center?
Okay. Where it failed, I mean, we started more than a year ago. In the beginning, we failed with the latency. That's why we develop our own streaming and STT. You can consider as a WAPI at the moment. That's the first part. What was your second question, by the way?
Second question is more on the quality of the voice of the AI, and how do you do the handoff to a human in the contact center?
Yeah. Since we are our clients in Italy, so we moved our servers to Italy, make it the GDPR compliant, because when we are using our service in the US, it was very poor performance. At the moment we do that, and also I mentioned the fail, it was low, the latency. It was the main problem that we are having the moment we switch the Italian market. And where we are seeing that WAPI, these kind of solutions are failing in there. That's why we develop our own STT streaming and also AI orchestration platform to handle that problem. Our latency is 0.7 seconds at the moment. And also the Italian language, they have different kind of numerations and validations, and we fix them by fine-tuning our own model. That's the second part. And also, as I mentioned, we already integrated their own daily platforms, handling the customer requests end to end.
All right. Thank you, Guillaume. Ricardo?
I'll go first. In terms of knowledge base, which is usually very tough to integrate within these agents and these solutions, do you start easy on a few items and then expand, or how do you usually need to work with your client?
Like every client, they are very hectic when it comes to AI, for example, especially in Italy. So the initial phase, they are starting with the handling the phone calls out of working hours. That's the first phase. They are trying our platform. Since nobody's picking up the phone, instead of the missed call, we started with the out of working hours on the weekends or after 6 p.m. And the moment they see result, they are getting appointment, more customers, and they're selling more cars. So in the second phase, we created the PBX integration directly. So for example, if the phone rings 4 or 5 times, that means drop rate is going to increase. So the moment it rings 5 times, our AI agents is handling the phone calls, making appointments on behalf of the sales agents. And in the third phase, once they are getting more clients, they're all sales reps on the field, and they're not going to be able to pick up the phone. And our voice AI agents handling all customer requests at the moment. So they are going phase by phase until they trust our platform.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ricardo. David, any feedback from your side? Maybe not question.
Yeah. 50 is running up on time. I just have one thing, and that is I would really just go super narrow here, echoing everyone else's points. There are a lot of competitive solutions here. I looked at your website, nothing about it said this is the obvious winner. Unless you have $1 billion in cash, I would just go very, very narrow. If you're doing Italian automotive, do Italian automotive. You can build a huge company just doing that. So I would encourage you to stick with that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Volkan. Great presentation. Great to have you with us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Let's move to the next company. The next pitch is Trexx. Eloisa, CEO of the company, will do the presentation. Eloisa, you can start when you're ready.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, nice to meet you all. My name is Eloisa. I'm here. Esports teams have 1 million of fans, but most of them don't make money from them. More than 70% of the revenue still comes from sponsorship. We started in esports, one of the most engaged markets in the world. And today we already have 37 teams on board, 500 creators on the wait list, and over $1 million generated in sponsorship and revenue. So demand is not the problem. Teams don't know who the best funds are. They don't own their data, they don't control distribution, and they can monetize engagement directly. So they are stuck in a broken model, high attention and low revenue. The market think this is an engagement problem, but it's not. It's a data and revenue infrastructure problem. There is no revenue layer for fan behavior. And we are second-time founders with exits in game and sports. So we understand distribution, monetization, and infrastructure to build the solution. We are backed by operators who build and scale global companies. And here at Trexx, we are building the AI revenue layer for fan ecosystem. But what does this mean? Trexx becomes the central layer between communities, creators, and brands. We aggregate content from multiple platforms and bring fan interaction into one place. Fans don't just consume the content, but they interact, create, and amplify it. This turning engagement into distribution. Every action generates data. AI identifies who drives engagement, who drives revenue, and what content converts. And we use that to connect brands to the right audience, not by reach, but by behavior. Then we monetize through transactions, ads, and financial products. But more important, we increase revenue per fan. We are not a gamified platform, but we are a revenue engine for communities. Esports has over 600 million fans globally, but more important, it sits at the intersection of gaming, creators, and commerce. That's why we start with esport, but this expanding naturally into the creator economy. Most platforms help creators monetize, but we do something different. We maximize the revenue per user. We already proved the distribution in a concentrate market. Now we scale. Users, monetization, ads, and financial products. This turns Trexx into a revenue infrastructure layer for gaming and creators. Esports is where this starts. Creator economy is where this scales. And what is starts a community engagement become financial infrastructure. And Trexx is building that layer. Thank you, and I invite you to join me in this journey.
Thank you, Alevisa. All right, David, would you like to start this time?
Sure. What is the revenue model here? How do you make money?
Okay, we have a different kind of models for B2B2C. We have transactions fees inside of the platform, and we have a fee of brands that want to running campaigns inside the platform. And the second model, it's a white label. We have a fixed monthly fee. It's varied for $1,000 for $5,000, and we have transactions fees. It's it's small when compared with B2B2C, but we have a transactions fees. It's like a bank as a service, if we can compare it.
And is this a sort of two-sided marketplace where it's kind of like a value-added marketplace where you have to go find the sellers, so to speak, and also the buyers, like the sponsors? Is that right?
Exactly. In the white label model, what we see, we have big brands and big teams, other kind of, not just esports teams, but for example, soccer teams that you want running Trexx, but okay, I don't want to be in the same ecosystem of other place because I want my fan base, I want my all application, and this it's a model that's running really well for them. But we have small teams that don't have money cash for have the white label, but can have the best that we can provide. The intermediation of brands, their all base, and because of that, we create two different models.
Okay. Just a quick. So actually, I'll let everybody else ask questions. Go ahead.
You can go ahead. No worries, David. No worries.
I was wondering the size of this market. Like, how do you think about like how many sort of people are out there doing this?
Okay, we start in Latin America because it's easy for us have here. Now we are leading in the market. But for example, when you talk about Latin America, we have more than 100 million players, gamers here. But now we want to expand for creators economy. In creators economy, it's how big is it? But for example, the global market games, it's at 200 million. The size of the market, 200 billion. Sorry, 200 billion. And yeah, now we are in the intersection of ads that are really big and the games.
Very good. Thanks.
Thank you, Edward.
Yeah, I have to say this is a sector that I know nothing about, so it's very hard for me to ask kind of poignant questions. I think my main one is like your kind of the route to market and how you're trying to actually get these people on board. It feels like that would be tough, quite expensive. You mentioned that you had 37 esport teams already, and revenues are about $1 million, I think you said. I don't know what the margin is on that. That feels like an expensive go-to-market motion for a fairly low average contract value.
Yeah, actually not. We have 37 teams signed, but we have 19 in the platform. Most of the small teams. Now we have the big teams launch in the platform. When we talk about $1 million, it's like 10 teams. But yeah, for me here, it's not expensive. But I believe when we go to USA or Europe, it's most expensive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Guillaume.
Yes, thank you, Eloisa. Quick question indeed on the market and the dynamic, because there is always a concrete will to go from find engagement, but it's really difficult to go from there to find revenue. So maybe now that you have a bit of backlog on background on your customers, so after a few months, what's the concrete revenue generating on one specific fan, let's say?
Okay, membership, it's running really well here in the platform. I think membership, it's a good thing here. But now what we see recently, it's a one model that the fans, it's like paid with rewards to distribution content. For example, you can make a live and I cut a piece of the live and distribute in my own social media. And when I'm reach, for example, 1,000 views, 1 million views, I receive something for you. Not just money, but for example, I'll sign a jersey, or I meet and greet with your athlete or ticket. We saw this kind of thing that we can receive for the brands and distribution for the teams and for communities work really well for them.
Okay, thank you. I would really insist on tracking the value generated through, let's say, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and after all. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Yeah, maybe one last question. Most of the esports, like they do have e-players that are active on platforms such as Twitch. Do you have any integration with them, since like a lot of donation go through Twitch as well?
Yeah, we have APIs in different kind of social medias, Instagram, TikTok, and Tweet. The tool of donate, it's all donate to the people can donate with a Trexx and have some interactions inside in the platform. But for example, with the BT store in Tweet, we have these integrations.
Okay, so basically you act as a kind of fintech operators. It's more towards payments there.
Exactly. We are like a rails for this creator market.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you for the presentation, Eloisa. It was great to have you with us today. Thanks a lot. All right, now we can go to the next presentation. Next company is Nuroblox. Prashant will share the version with us. All right, you can start when you're ready.
Hello, everybody. My name is Prashant. I'm the CTO of Nuroblox. just one. So, and also we have the CEO of the company, Vipul Patel, with us. So AI is exploding, but in the industries where decisions actually matter, it's still blocked. Insurance, healthcare, financial services can't deploy AI, not because the models don't work, but because compliance makes them impossible to use in production. We built Nuroblox to solve that. We are the governance layer that sits between AI and the enterprise decisions, making compliance makes them impossible to use. Yeah, sorry. We are governance layer and sits between the AI enterprise decisions, making every output auditable, explainable, and compliant by default. We already have a Fortune 500 insurer live in production, and now we are scaling into a new category, governed AI. So what's the problem? The problem is very simple. AI works, but it cannot be trusted in regulated environments. Every decision needs to be auditable and explainable, and every system needs to meet strict regulatory standards. Today, none of that exists. So what happens? Pilots succeed for AI, but they never get to production. And there is $1 trillion on enterprise AI spend effectively blocked. This is what is changing now. Regulation. The EU AI Act already being enforced. The US accountability mandates are coming. And in the next 24 months, companies won't just experiment with AI. They will be required to prove it's compliant. That turns compliance from a blocker into a budget unlock. We created a new category, governed AI. Nuroblox sits between model outputs and enterprise workflows. Every time an AI system makes a decision, we enforce policy, validate compliance, generate a full audit trail before execution. So instead of just producing an output, the system produces a decision that regulators can actually accept. For example, in insurance claims, we just don't automate the claim. We capture the reasoning, validate it against policy, and produce audit-ready evidence. That's what makes AI deployable in regulated environments. This is already working in production. We are in live with the Fortune 500 insurance company, processing 30,000 claim documents per day, achieving 97% automation, delivering 2 times ROI, and we went from pilot to full deployment in under 10 months. This isn't a prototype, it's real, guaranteed in production. We are starting with insurance, but this expands naturally. Every regulated workflows has the same problem: healthcare, financial services, compliance operations. This is a 100 billion plus market. We are not creating new demand. We are unlocking spend that already is blocked. Our model is for the enterprise is 300K initial contracts, 3 times expansion per customer. That gets us to 100 million ARR with a few hundred customers. We're already generating revenue. Last quarter of the last year, we closed $350,000 for the 160,000 already contracted this year. And most importantly, we have 5 more enterprise deals in the pipeline. We didn't raise to find the product market fit. We found it and then raised. So what is the competition here? There are strong players in the adjacent spaces, but none solve this problem. Palantir is infrastructure, not AI governance. Data problems manage data, not decisions. Observability tools monitor models, but don't make them compliant. No one owns runtime AI governance for regulated workflows. We do. And we have built a patented runtime governance architecture that others can't replicate without starting over. This team has built and scaled enterprise AI before, from leadership from the chief data scientist from SAP, who is our CEO, Vipul Patel, to 25 years in regulated systems, prior exits, and patents in data security. We are not experimenting. We've done this at scale. And this is our raise. We are raising $8 million. And this is to expand to Fortune 500 companies, scaling enterprise sales, deepening our governance platform. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Prashant. Edwards, would you like to start?
Yeah, thank you. Good presentation, and well done on getting some early traction in this. That's great. Couple of questions. Just as you're obviously a strong regulatory play here, so who is taking on the liability? So if your technologies get this wrong and it transpires you don't have the necessary kind of audit trail to meet the legislation, is that you that then takes that on, or is that still the company? And then secondly, this feels more like a use this tool and then you can use AI because you've got sort of an audit path, but you're talking about return on investment. So where's that return on investment coming from?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So basically, this is an AI platform which sits in the environment of the customer. So it's not a SaaS model. We deploy it in the environment of the customer themselves. So this secure at every stage we audit information, including from when you start the process to every decision of the core, which is our AI platform, which has its own intelligence layer and the orchestration layer. And that audits and decides everything, like logs everything for auditability. So none other tools do that. Uh, the the ROI is right now, this is a blocked environment. There is no solution. I cannot take a chat GPT and use it in this environment. There is no solution for me to use a chat GPT to process claim documents of patients which contain PI information, and which the data extracted from documents is accessible to everybody. So not just data protection, but data classification and is also part of this platform. So it is excellent for people industries which are security minded.
Thank you. So really ask, so you basically, the liability stays with your customers. So if they needed that audit trail and transpired you missed one of the steps, then
Yeah. So I mean, we provide a policy engine that checks the compliance requirement, but we operate under what we call a B2B2B go-to-market strategy. So we have what we call channel partners. Those channel partners build out the extended compliance requirement for the customer. So you can add those items, policy requirements, as metrics to the list as long as they're measurable. And there's always a human in the loop component if it requires requires that from a compliance standpoint. So do we own the liability? We provide the rule set where we make that completely transparent to the customer, what is being checked and how it's being checked and what compliance rules that it's adhering to. Beyond that, they can apply their additional requirements, but it's really up to the customer to own that and make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Just to add to that, we were the only company to pass the AI security audit for the Fortune 500 customer. So none of our partners or none of our competition could pass that audit.
All right. Thank you, Ricardo.
Yeah, well, one quick question. It feels that it's very to be scalable, like you need to do some background work, especially in terms of geography expansion, industry expansion. Because, for instance, I do know that in Italy, any industry has its own regulation and so on and so forth. How deep you need to get into new sectors, new verticals to get some tractions there?
Yeah, so from a compliance engine point of view, there's regulations are actually mandated by either government or regulatory bodies. Now, that is to validate that as part of our engine is something that we can pick up from the market. Getting into a new vertical does require some effort on our part to build that rules engine. But once that's done, every subsequent use case adheres to the same engine, adheres to the additional policy requirements. So when you run these particular workflows, it's not just adhering to the compliance, or it's also using policy to say, how do I orchestrate this workflow? Am I concerned about cost? Am I concerned about latency? And it optimizes workflow to that particular policy. So beyond just the industry kind of rules, there is a technical component which actually makes it more efficient as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, I'm just regarding, love to see the traction. Is this a SaaS model? Are these pilots, these long-term contracts?
So we have a GA product for the Fortune 500 insurance company. It's a live product. We're processing 30,000 claims per day. Yeah, it's a live product.
So it's an enterprise product and not a SaaS service.
Yeah,
it is implemented inside the environment of the customer.
it's a private cloud deployment. It's containerized, so we're partnered with all the hyperscalers. We're co-sell partners with Microsoft, AWS, and GCP. Our market strategy is to align ourselves with channel partners, which are either SIs or we are all global SIs, which we're working on a contract with right now.
Great. Thanks so much, Nipul and Prashant. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, let's move to the next presentation. The next company is Luxia. Andrea Salvati will share the opening with us. Andrea, you already share your screen. You can start when you are ready.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Then I'm ready.
Then you can start.
Cool. Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea. I'm the founder of Luxia. The main challenge that Luxia is tackling is entering into the SMEs business, is trying to turn data that all of these SMEs have, especially in Italy, into something that is usable and something that is bringing value. This is a challenge because in Italy, basically all the companies, so SMEs, but also public administration, are sitting on data, but no one is really managing to turn that data into something that is automated and something that is useful. Luxia works mainly into 3 steps. The first step is to gather all of the information from a company and to load it into our system. This could be documents, could be file systems, could be relational databases, could be web apps or websites. Once that is done, we have a tool that can help companies do something with the data. Our main tool, which is what we focus on and what we were born to do, is data analytics. So basically, we have a text-to-SQL model that we co-created with Polytechnic of Turin, which is one of the leading universities in Italy. In this product, we basically turn text into SQL. This SQL is then run against relational databases, and then we are visualizing or exploring basically the ideas and the results that the database is giving us. Apart from that, to ensure some looking into the clients, we also support a number of side tools that the customers can use to basically use Luxia in an horizontal way inside of the company, apart from the first use case, that is data analytics. Once the data is tested and is being used internally, then it can be shared externally. This could be as a B2B2C model or as a B2B, but basically the final users are internal stakeholders that do not want to interact in a complex way with data. We integrate in an omni-channel manner. Basically, our agents who are created can be exported everywhere. So it could be WhatsApp, could be emails, could be landing pages, widget through iframes. Basically, we can put them more or less everywhere. We have 2 channels. One is internal, so we have direct sales, and one is external. Direct sales, currently we have 33 clients, 32 in Italy, 1 in the UK. We close in roughly 1 year, 1.3 million in contracts. We have 490K in our recurring revenues. The sales cycle is around 2 months. The target customers for us are SMEs or public administration that are digitally mature, but they lack a dedicated internal IT or AI team. And they work in sectors where data analytics or analyzing data brings a leverage, like, for example, could be finance or could be the energy sector. We also have a partner type of channel. So in this case, partners, they buy the solution from us and they resell it. We tend to focus on more complex clients and more complex integration because one of our value proposition is value-added services on top of the platform. Partners tend to resell pre-ready solutions that we pre-package for them. The market is huge, both in Italy and in Europe, especially because the SME segment is eager to try and use AI, but is usually unable to do so. The team is not so young sometimes, apart from me. The idea is to try and blend in market knowledge from Italy, but also some innovation from a technical background. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Andrea. Guillaume, would you like to start this time?
Thank you very much. Thank you for the pitch. I'm wondering a bit here about the specific use cases you have, especially when you compare to, let's say, traditional Gen AI plus a bit of RAG and a bit of insight that you could pour in. So maybe as you're live and you have a bit of clients, maybe we could deep dive into one of the top use cases that you have.
Yeah, of course. So what you said actually makes a lot of sense because basically our typical clients is a client that tried that first. So basically when we go into a client, is a client that tried to do a RAG on some sort of open source model. And then he liked it, but then he wants to put that into production, into something that works, speaking with people that if it breaks, they can fix it for them. So that's basically our ideal client. So a client that is eager to try, but cannot on his own. We have many use cases. One of my favorite ones is, for example, we have a public administration in Italy where we basically analyze and split into cohorts a number of tickets opened by citizen and then resolved. And we do a lot of analysis there in an automated way to cluster all of them and then plug it into Luxia. And then we give Luxia to the public administration so that when a new request comes in, they can understand what happened in all the past tickets. And on this, they did try to do a simple RAG, but of course doesn't really work very well. So that could be one of the options.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. I will leave the floor to the others for follow-up questions. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Ricardo?
I think that my main point is towards competition. You're not the only one who are providing these type of solutions. What is your USP on this sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So in Italy, especially because, of course, we are operating for now mostly on the Italian market, but it's similar in Europe. It is true that we have many competitors, but not a lot of them. They provide a broad array of different capabilities as we do. So if you look at the, for example, data analytics space, sometimes we go head-to-head even with Power BI, let's say. Or if you look at, for example, the conversational agents, there are many companies that do chatbots that could serve the purpose. What we try to do is because we have a broad range of product, we enter the client with one specific, very narrow use case, which could be data analytics, competitors, in that case, let's say Power BI, but then they pick us because they can do much, much else. So we cross-sell a lot, and they can buy one platform where they can do a lot of different things once they buy for one use case.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
What is your customer acquisition process? 5,000 for a single SMB customer seems like quite a lot, even though it seems like the average is about 15,000 a year. I'm just curious because this is one area that I think AI can be very helpful with, is to automate customer acquisition for SMB.
Yeah, so that's actually a very good question because our process is not optimized at all, to be honest, to be brutally honest. You see customer acquisition cost because as of now it's basically the cost of the 3 employees that do sales divided by the customers, basically,
yeah.
Roughly. We do some events. So as of now, so that is because we started selling 1 year ago. So we are still kind of like growing into making it more automated and use a bit of Gen AI. And we are now starting to exploring tools to make it a bit more easier. As of now, it's very, very basic. We have 2 guys, quite young people that do lead generation. And then we have 1 sales director that basically close the deals. And then through partners is a bit more optimized. So we have a full-on partner portal. We identify partners and they use the portal to block negotiation and then they kind of like resell it. So that's a bit more optimized, but that's fairly new. So we only have 4 partners and we started 3 months ago on the program. So this year it's going to be from next quarter onwards, much more around finding partners and optimizing sales. So we are not really hiring for sales anymore in terms of sales rep, but as you said, we are trying to explore how we can automate, especially the lead generation part, which for now it's super, super manual.
I would give the same advice as I gave Lightscale, which is just pick a vertical and then build everything towards that vertical. You can literally build your website to answer every question that every single one of your customers is going to have, and automate with AI and let it do 99% of the work for you. I know it feels unnatural to do that because you've built a tool that can be kind of used, across many different use cases. But that, in my opinion, in this world of AI, where any product and service can be replicated in 24 hours, is the only way to win. You have to verticalize and really pick a lane. Again, just one person's opinion.
Thanks. Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you, David. Edwards, we have almost 20 seconds, but maybe feedback.
Yeah, I would echo that. I am concerned about the next wave of AI for companies that are doing sort of analytical layers on top of the SMEs. You mentioned that the SMEs are struggling to use AI. I think they might be struggling today. I'm not sure they're going to be struggling in 12 months' time. And therefore, if you don't pick a vertical or some reason to have expertise in the field, then you'll struggle.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Edwards, and thank you so much, Andrea. Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's move to the next presentation. Nodale, Antoine and Bastien will do the presentation. You can start when you're ready.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, everybody. Do you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's start. So you're wasting a month of your life every year. That's what I tell sales reps because they don't get to choose. Today, demo videos have become a non-negotiable part of the B2B sales cycle. 88% of buyers watch videos during the purchase journey. Nearly 1 in 2 watch product demos specifically. It's no longer optional, it's expected now. But producing a demo video takes time. On average, it's 30 minutes of work to produce a 5 minutes of video. Sales reps send on average 8 videos per week, not because they don't want to send more, but because that's the maximum their schedules allows. They can't do less if they want to close deals. At that pace, that's 1 full month per year spent just recording videos. That's crazy, right? So the question we ask ourselves is simple. What if demo videos didn't need to be recording anymore?
And so that's what we're building at Nodale. We understand your SaaS and automatically generate personalized, always up-to-date demo videos for your revenue teams. So Nodale works with zero access to your GitHub repos or internal documentations or dependency on your engineering teams, because we built this tool for sales reps, customer success, marketing teams, people who don't have access to code bases and must see the product's value instantly. So Nodale works in 3 phases. The first one is exploration. We learn about your company through deep search, ingesting data that you sent us, and we build a knowledge graph that models your product and your market. Second phase is understanding. We deploy an AI agent in your application. It navigates, it clicks and explores, and it connects what it observes to what the knowledge graph already knows. So we understand your product from the inside. And then the last phase is the generation, where a sales rep will pick their use case, and then we automatically generate a tailored script, record and assemble the video, generate and sync the voiceover, add post-production effects, and if the rep wants, we clone their voice and avatars.
Anton and I met at Zelig. We both joined very, very early. We lived the 0 to 1, the hypergrowth, the 15 million raise. We launched the platform's first AI initiative together, and we create and co-manage a squad of 8 people. And most importantly, we've been together every day for 3 years. We've been through the highs and the lows. We know each other under pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, so we met our founding designer, Sean at Zelig. Before that, he was at Clap, a tool that is known in the ecosystem for its exceptional design, who was acquired by Lemlist in 2025. So he knows the revenue space well. And we have 2 advisors, Guillaume Cruz, who is a co-founder of Zelig, who knows the revenue space very well, and Thomas Nathan, who's an ex-Alan and Uber, who supports us on product and scale. So the fact that they follow us after we left Celix says a lot.
So you got it. Nodale is three things: personalized demo videos without recording for the first time, the brain, a layer of product intelligence behind every demos, and a tool built from day one to integrate seamlessly into the revenue execution stack. We launched our alpha yesterday morning, and we already have about 10 companies to onboard this week. You can scan the QR code if you want a demo video, and thank you all for listening.
Thanks.
Thank you both so much for the presentation. All right, Edward, would you like to start?
Sorry, look, good presentation. The bit was a bit sort of, you were talking around the implementation and that people have got to send you all the data, and it feels like there's quite a long implementation time, and I'm just wondering how scalable that is. And there are other companies like building sort of demos like such as this. So kind of what is about the demos that you're building that are giving you an advantage over your competitors?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so on the setup is thought to be quick. You actually don't need to provide your access to a code base, or we don't need to ingest your previous recordings of demos that you did to learn your style. If you provide more data, we're better. But you get set up in about 10 minutes, so that we have time to do some deep search and agentic crawling of your application and your setup. Bastien, if you wanna continue.
No, it's okay.
And for what was the second part?
Well, it was like, I'm just thinking of like Synthesia and other kind of companies that are producing videos, and we've looked at two or three of this type, and just what is it exactly that is giving you the edge? Because I think people realize now buying decisions and videos and product demos, etc., are important.
So tools like Synthesia or 11 Labs or stuff like that only allow you to create an AI avatar, including your voice, but you'll still need to record your product to personalize your demos, and this is the stuff that is time consuming. And our main advantage is here. We are only three companies on the world creating that stuff. There is a Canadian company, an Indian company, and us, a French company, who have the approach to record in an agentic way your SaaS product automatically. I don't know if it's answering to your question.
It is. I would argue there's a lot more than three. If you Google search it, and it's not, there's many, and so it's just really understanding what's unique about the way you're doing it.
From what we've seen, it's the agentic nature where you still save a lot of time doing that to reach a quality that's good enough to send to your prospects.
Right. Thank you, Edward. David?
What is the customer feedback?
Our current customer feedback on the alpha one?
Yeah, I mean, compared to other demos, I mean, obviously there's a speed component, et cetera, but what about the quality? Like, do they feel like this is a better quality? Do you feel like they prefer this over, other solutions or past solutions?
Yeah, so for salespeople, it's quite a mixed feeling because they want the perfect version of the videos. They do mostly one-on-one talk with their customers and prospects. So they want to have the perfect avatar, the perfect voice, the perfect energy of their avatar, and they want the perfect feature and script that they have in mind, and they used to present to people. That's why we are also talking to customer success, support, and marketing teams, because they are less attentive to their the quality of the avatar. They want to do mass market or more or less personalized videos. So For customer success team and support team, it's a way to animate their app center, for example, or made article with videos. And for marketing team, they use it for contact all inactive leads from their CRM, and it's a way to reactive some people.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Guillaume?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a quick question on my side would be to understand how much does your AI takes into account, let's say, the previous real sales discussion, so that you can with the prospect, so that it can take into account concrete needs from the prospect that has been stated through the different calls, and then of course from the sales knowledge into adding this because it's automated. So how much do you pour previous info? Because you, from the previous question from Edward, you said you could be set up very quickly, but then the quality would not be that as good. So what's the good balance between the two?
So yes, go ahead, Antoine.
Yeah, we're experimenting with different context engineering, but so the agent that creates the script will have your knowledge graph. It has all the commercial data that you provide, so the transcripts of your previous calls or emails with your prospects, and then the more demos you give us that you recorded or that we have from similar industries, and the more we're able to learn either your personal style or the sales points of your industry.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Great presentation. Great to be with us today. And Guillaume, I know we should talk this event will take 90 minutes. I know you have a hard stop at 7:30.
Yeah,
And thanks so
I
much for
was
your
about to let
contribution
you
so
know
far.
that either I had to leave or beginning of the next one, but I don't want to interrupt anything. So you let me
Thank
know.
you so much, Guillaume, for contribution.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Last final page. So for final two page, last two page, Lumi AI and Enverge. Lumi AI is the next one. Tudor, co-founder of the company, will share the journey with us. Tudor, can share your screen and go with the presentation when you are ready.
Sure.
All right,
Just
let
Nodale.
me remove this current presentation. Yes, if you just stop sharing, Bastian would be good, or I will try to do that. All right, now you can share Tudor.
Okay, awesome. Just give me 1 second here. Okay, great. So thanks for having me here today. So I'm Tudor Boyanju. I'm CTO and co-founder for Lumi AI. Easiest way to think of Lumi AI is a multi-agent solution that helps business users uncover insights buried in their data, hidden value opportunities through ROI and other things. And it's an entire ecosystem. It's a platform where the data team shifts to managing their data and what's connected to it and the semantic model, while business users now can actually reach out into in plain language interfaces like chat interfaces or boards, which are equivalent of dashboards, to actually get insights through it. So as you can see here, people can list an objective, run that against the data, and Lumi will prepare a full solution in terms of the different answers that they have there. Looking at some of the clients that we have, we've delivered proven value for a number of customers, including Kroger, through Deloitte for some of our others here as well, and Chahoop. So we uncover large amounts of value for customers that we've had so far to date. And instead of building dashboards, you're simply defining objectives and letting Lumi analyze your full data set and continuously work towards an outcome. We're defining a new standard for analytics. So instead of the past where you have business teams that would have to route to data teams, come up with their ad hoc requests, they would have to flow through to the different sources, figure out what information to pull, prepare a dashboard that just gets added to a sea of additional dashboards. Instead, now the business teams come into here where we manage a context layer for their data, and we have agentic workflows that run on top of it. And then here, just in terms of traction so far, we have we've had a great amount of growth recently. So we've hit an inflection point now where, from a traction perspective, we started in 2023, hit about 24,000 ARR, 200,000 in 2025, and now in 2026 year to date, or this is pipeline, sorry. We've identified now a pipeline for 650,000. And our pilot success rate has dramatically improved over the past few years. We went from a 20% success rate in our beta program to now 90% of customers graduating from the pilot into paying customers. And now the number of customers that are using Lumi weekly has also greatly increased. We have a 48% of monthly users now that engage with Lumi on a weekly basis. And this number just came in as we closed out Q1. We've now hit 540,000 in terms of ARR, which is a 70% increase relative to January 2026. We've now got a proven growth engine that can actually sustain our targets or even exceed them, as we've identified here. So in terms of customers that we've managed to sign, we've actually exceeded our targets in the recent past. This is thanks to a multi-channel approach. So we've got our channel and partner-led teams. So myself and my co-founder used to work at Deloitte, and we are now using Deloitte and other SIs to be able to channel new sales through there as well. We've got a strong direct sales motion that we've made repeatable over the past few years that we've been working, so we can continuously acquire customers. And we also have significant inbound and brand-driven generation now for our pipeline. We have 15% sales qualified leads now into customer conversion, which is increasing now over the past few years. And we're hitting 16 qualified discovery calls per month. So happy to be connected on LinkedIn, learn more about us. Right now, we're looking to raise an additional 2 million relative to where we are today to continue our journey.
Great presentation. Thank you so much, Tudor. Ricardo, would you like to start?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tudor, for the presentation. It was very insightful. Just a couple of questions towards the go-to-market and the client journey from data zero up to signing.
Yeah, if you want to walk through it, we've adopted a very low-risk pilot approach where people are able to join without necessarily paying into a program. They can sign up and they get committed to a 2-year plan, but they can opt out in the first month if they don't see value delivered. So we really stand behind our claim that we're going to find opportunities, surface opportunities for them to work with. We help hands-on in terms of integrating with the different data connections. Our platform supports a variety there. People are able to we work with them to define what their value drivers are. We have an entire approach behind that. So if they're looking to improve working capital, if they're looking to find new revenues, and we work with them, their data, to actually build out a solution that's identifying those opportunities for them. And then, of course, they can self-service beyond that and continuously find opportunities through their data.
Yep, thank you. Edward?
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It's really solid, and stuff like user statistics and things like that in there, which is great. One question I had is just on you mentioned recoverable revenues, and this is kind of where they're getting ROI from. I'm not quite sure what a recoverable revenue is in the scale that you're looking at. So I just wondered if you could define a little bit more, like why your agents have produce those recoverable revenues and why they weren't able to find them before your analytics tools were.
Yeah, for sure. So I've done this in the past with my co-founder. We're both at Deloitte, and customers surprisingly have a lack of, it's not a lack of capability, but it's a lack of time and the freedom to actually look through the data and find opportunities. With AI, we unlock that. In terms of the opportunities, like the revenues that they're finding, like new revenue generation or working capital, we're applying it's not quite a templated approach. We're applying our consulting lens to be able to find those opportunities, and we're taking that from customer to customer. So they're able to or we're able to work with them to actually work through their data to find those different opportunities.
What does that mean in practice, those different opportunities? Is it like they've accidentally not invoiced somebody, or
Yeah, it could
they've
be, let's say they're not capitalizing on their sales pipeline, or they have duplicate invoices, so they're mismanaging the information there. A common one that we work with is around working capital, so inventory management, where they're not aware. Kroger, for example, on the earlier one here in the slide, where they uncovered millions of unfulfilled demand. They had, at an aggregate, they showed that there was inventory on average in the system, but when it came down to the individual locations, there were lots of independent stockouts. And so with a few prompts, they were able to work through with Lumi to be able to find those opportunities where the dashboards weren't providing that visibility again, because the dashboards have to run across. They weren't able to get down to the nitty-gritty of millions of records versus us. We were reprocessing layer by layer through their data to find those opportunities.
Right. Thank you, Edwards. David?
Two quick questions. One is, what are the sort of major platforms that you currently integrate with to be able to sort of analyze and uncover that data?
We work with all the major data warehouses like BigQuery or Redshift. We also connect with certain ERPs like SAP and Oracle. We focus, I know you've commented before for the other teams, but we focus on supply chain heavy industries, so verticals around CPG and retail specifically, where the data is dense and complicated and there's an extensive supply chain involved. Yeah.
Great. And then second is, sounds like this is a subscription, or maybe like it is subscription. Have you thought about outcome-based pricing? I mean, I think there's a huge shift now towards that, especially when you're sort of finding, new opportunities that are very tied to, sounds like revenue or expenses. Have you thought about maybe tying those findings to your revenues, and what's the thought process there?
We have, and myself and my co-founder actually have previous experience doing value-based billing at Deloitte for customers as well, where they were experimenting with that. There's and Salonis as well, work there, and they were experimenting with some of that there as well. It's a good opportunity, and customers are excited about it because they only have to pay kind of what value is actually driven out for them. The challenge comes down to proving that it was tied to the use of Lumi or the opportunities identified here, and it's not noise. I know because in the contract, they're eager to try and give as little money or as little credit as they can. But it has come up. We are exploring that with customers. We're actually also looking to offer, in parallel to our service-based billing by seats, to also offer consumption-based billing, because some of our customers want to scale this to hundreds of users internally, and they're not a fan of the seat model necessarily.
Yeah. I think all the pricing models are ripe for disruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much, Tudor. Great presentation. All right, then. Now we are moving to the final presentation. The last pitch is Enverge. Breno, co-founder and CEO of the company, will do the presentation to us. Breno, you can start when you're ready.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Still, let me see if I
Yeah.
my screen here. Okay. Hopefully you can see it.
Yes, we can see it now.
Wait, something happened. You still can see it?
Yeah, now it's back.
Cool. So at Enverge, we are chasing the greenest AI infrastructure with a practical, down-to-earth approach. You probably heard and might even be tired of all the news about the energy issues with AI, the increased demand of energy. It is real, and it's already a bottleneck. Initially, most people thought that GPU production would be the bottleneck, but if you bought any NVIDIA shares, you know that's not the case. There has been a lot of GPU production, and they have been sold. And in fact, big tech are sitting on piles of GPUs in warehouses that haven't been deployed. Most cloud providers still don't have the B300s of it, the Blackwell family in general. And it's been 2 years that being out. So why is that happening, right? It is challenging to build data centers, but that's not the main reason. We also produce enough energy. The real bottleneck at the moment is actually the electrical grid. Getting connection to the grid is taking much longer. The wait list for hyperscalers or projects that are 100 megawatts or bigger, or in general, large scale data centers, or even increasing energy concession on existing data centers, can take 5 to 10 years, depending on the country. So it is a big problem right now that is slowing down the growth. And on the other hand, you also have not just enough energy being produced, but enough excess energy, so curtailed energy. Just renewable curtailed energy globally would be enough to power all Hopper and Blackwell GPUs produced by NVIDIA since the AI boom started. So again, this curtailment mostly happens because of the electrical grid limitations, especially in large countries where the distribution of energy is more complicated. So what we are doing at Enverge, instead of bringing energy to data centers, we are bringing micro data centers to the energy source. Essentially, we work with energy generators where we install micro data centers, ideally facilities that have already 24/7 generation, like this is a hybrid solar and wind farm, and then coupled with a BESS to maintain high availability on these data centers. We also work with facilities that have this one here is in the US, that they use the natural gas pipes to generate energy with turbines, similar to hydros. And they also cool down the data center using the same gas without having to burn it. And there's a facility in hydro that has also curtailment in Alaska. So there are different types of renewable energies that we can use. And this is the main principle behind it. But the way we work is quite unique in the sense that most of the other cloud companies, what they do, they either usually they verticalize the data center and the construction, and most of the competitors from a curtailment solution perspective, they are more on the infrastructure building side. We are more of a software company. We don't have the assets in our balance sheets. Who's paying for the capex of those micro data centers are the energy generators or funds of private money who wants to invest in data centers. So essentially, most of the revenue goes back to them, and we take a percentage by monetizing those data centers, managing them from a software perspective. So the software stack is ours. We have a cloud platform where companies can do training and fine tuning, and we take a percentage of the revenue of the GPU rentals through our platform of that. So essentially, we are the distribution layer to the micro data centers, and that's how we operate. We have a pipeline of projects. We are not yet live with our own data centers. We are live with the platform, but not our own data centers. Just the pipeline that we have at the moment. Ran out of time. Cool.
If you can just say a couple of words to finalize your presentation.
Yeah, we potential 10 million in ARR for us, and we are a team of experienced founders bringing robotics engineering, cloud platform experience, and green energy. That's it.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Breno. David, would you like to start?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm not 100% sure what you're doing. I think we're kind of getting into it there sort of towards the end. Maybe I can just repeat it back to you and you can tell me if I'm completely off base, but you're a software solution that works with power companies to help generate power for AI data centers that's green, or is it like carbon credit based, or yeah, I guess I'm just kind of lost here.
Okay, so maybe I'll quickly walk you through one use case.
All right.
That there is this hybrid facility suffering from curtailment. These guys lose $40 million a year in excess energy that they're not able to sell. So they have an inherent motive to solve that. So they pay for the data center. They buy the hardware. We help them with the design of the data center. We work with a partner that can build and deploy and install. And then after this is installed, we monetize that for them. So basically, we are the cloud platform, the AWS or GCP layer that monetize for them. Is that more clear?
I wish I could say yes. Why don't we move on? Don't waste any time on me. I'll turn it over to the others, and we can come back at this time.
All right, Ricardo, anything your side?
Yeah, I believe that the most difficult part here is to have partnership with one client, you know, the first one. And are you already there working with them with property development, or what's the catch there?
We have two LOIs, one for a data center in Greece and one in Alaska. And we just came out of a call with another one that we are close to sign for a project that could go live in the next 3 months. But you're absolutely right. Getting that first one live and having that successful is being the longest journey for us. We've been in conversations for over a year. So, yeah.
Yeah, and what the contracts look like in your opinion? What's your sensation there? It's going to be just like transactional, or you have like installation fees, maintenance, and other revenue?
In the long term, well, in some cases we already charge like an onboarding fee, but right now for the first projects we've been waiving that. We are just getting a percentage on the transaction, and that is a tiered based one. So we fully align our incentives. We only make money if we are delivering the revenues that are expected. If we are under delivering, we are covering our costs. If we're over delivering, we are getting more than. But the target 15% of the revenue of the data center on average.
Right, Edward.
Hi there. Yeah, you mentioned about that. I'm a little bit confused as well about balance sheet and whether you own it or you don't own it. You're buying it, but you're not buying it. And just I had two questions really. Is like where are you getting the money to buy the data centers, or who's paying for the data centers that you're building? And I'm slightly struggling on what the AI relationship is. And really go into that with the software.
So I don't know if that's going to be more confusing or less, but I'll try. So first of all, the money is coming from the energy generator, so they are paying for the capex. Usually, they have a much lower capital cost than startups, so it makes sense for them. Most of them are sitting on money and don't know where to invest in terms of innovation in solar and wind, especially. In terms of AI, the data centers, the only workload we use is for AI. The reason for that is that if you were to put a traditional data center in those locations, but then it would take me a little bit longer to explain, it would not work. So we focus on workload for training and fine-tuning. The optimization there is compute power. So we take the most expensive compute, the most expensive and mostly compute power, time, and energy. Traditional data centers are more in the transfer for information or saving information, storage of information optimization. So that's why it has to be for AI.
So your AI angle is less about your software being AI driven software, although I'm sure you use AI, but it's more about the fact that the data centers that you're working with are like specifically in locations such that they're high usage and therefore perfect for training AI models and things like that.
Exactly. So they're GPU clusters. We are a dev tool for AI engineers, essentially. So our customers, our users are AI engineers, but AI is not part of our dev stack in general.
And so how are you then how are you making the decisions of where to build these things? I saw you had one going on in Norway, which I know is cheap energy costs, and so I see. Yeah.
So far, it's been mostly through introduction from our network. So we all been around for a while, the three co-founders. So it's mostly been introduction from the network. But we strategically look at where are there curtailment issues. So that's why we have some projects in Brazil and the US. Those are big curtailment issues in those countries. But then Europe is very strategic for us because of the consumer side of the platform, and also great place in terms of having internet access, because the problem in the other remote locations then becomes a trade-off with the internet access.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. David, anything you want to add or no?
No, I do get it though by the end. I did get it. So thank you.
Right. All right, great. So thank you so much for the presentation, Breno. Before we close, maybe we can like have a final words from the panel. What do you think about the company's presenters? Like, is there like anything like more attractive for you, or final word, like anything you want to say? We can start with like David. Would you like to start?
Sure. No, I thought everybody did a really good job. Some common themes probably from me that you heard today is just, try to pick a small vertical and own it, and you can expand from there. Try to get as narrow in your sort of message and focus as you possibly can. I absolutely think that, again, unless you have billions of dollars in your balance sheet, that's the way to win in today's startup world. But ultimately, I thought you guys did great, and you're all focusing on really interesting areas. So thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much for your contribution. Edward?
Yeah, well done all. It's always really difficult, these pitch sessions in front of 30, 40 people. So well done on that. I thought, like you said, David said it is about trying to find that niche now. I think also I would sort of think about what the second wave is. I feel like if AI technology is happening in waves, we're kind of, I don't know what wave we're in, maybe it's not the second wave, maybe it's about the 15th wave, but there is definitely a next wave, I think, now going to happen where we are seeing just so many companies starting, especially analytical layers going over the top of existing data systems. So if you are an analytical layer going over the top of existing data sort of systems of record, I would just be very, very careful that you know how you can differentiate into those markets. But overall, well done, everyone, and great to be here this afternoon.
Great. Thanks so much, Edward. Pleasure to have you with us today. Ricardo?
Yeah, I follow along with my colleagues. I mean, to be honest, the level of the startups was pretty high to my POV, and it has been super insightful to see what you guys are developing. I follow along with the thing that you need to be narrow or super fast, right? You have no option that doesn't fit these two. So it's rather of gaining market traction as fast as possible and to be sticky. Try to figure it out a way that you can be critical for your clients, so you can have a really low churn. But it's really preventing what's ahead.
Thank you, Ricardo. It was a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you, everyone, all the presenters, panels, and everyone in the audience staying with us until the end of the event. The next competition potentially will be early July. We didn't set the date yet, but we can announce like maybe a couple of weeks. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for your attending for the event. Thanks a lot. Have a great evening or afternoon wherever you live. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.